Hey everyone, what is going on? So we're trying out Spiritomb and Shiftry today, and I actually really like both of them. So leading with Spiritomb, and Spiritomb is probably one of the best leads just because it's not weak to anything besides Fairy, and there's currently no Fairy fast moves. I mean, there's some Pokemon in this format like Alolan Persian that can get Poliwrath and whatnot, so there's other Pokemon as well that get Fairy moves, but I don't see them being too common, and even if people do use them, they're still not fast moves. But you also do have to watch out for, like, I guess, dog types because it is neutral, so it's still going to do a good amount of damage. You know, Spiritomb isn't the bulkiest Pokemon in the world, so, you know, it's a decent lead, but if they lead with something like Umbreon or another dog type, it's really not going to be the best, so it might not be the best lead, but it's definitely a really good Pokemon. You know, it depends. This format is kind of strange because I feel like you have to bring a fighting type, a psychic type, and a dog type with you. So let's say Spiritomb, Toxicroak, and Hypno, right? I feel like you have to bring at least one of each type to every battle so you have something to counter the other type, because if you don't have a psychic type you might have trouble against those fighting Pokemon, or if you don't have a dog type you might have trouble against the psychic types or whatnot, right? So I feel like you need at least one of each. Shiftry right now though, his final Pokemon is unfortunately a Toxicroak. We do have shields, but his counter is doing a lot of damage. Almost get to the charge moves, not able to do it, so we actually do go ahead and tie that match. So these battles are against a subscriber of mine, so thank you so much for the battles. I only battle him twice today, and I'm battling Joker again, of course, but this time we're beginning with Spiritomb. Really good lead for us. He does begin with Slowbro, so we're just going to go to town with that Sucker Punch. Really good move. It does charge up Ominous Wind quite nicely. We also have Shadow Bolt on it, so yeah, I mean, if you get the buff, which I don't think I did in this video, but if you do get the buff, especially on your first Ominous Wind, you're basically set. You're going to do so much damage. I would think it would be a little bit difficult to lose. I mean, you could still lose, but if you do get that buff, it's a nice buff, so you do want to get it, and but you obviously shouldn't rely on it. But anyway, yeah, so now he brings in Poliwrath. I'm just going to stay in, keep on going for Ominous Wind. I could have went for a Shadow Ball then, I guess. Just going for the last minute buff, not able to happen. So I'm going to let Spiritomb go down right now. But it did its job, right? It took out Slowbro. It helped us a lot. You know, I could have switched into Hypno. Perhaps I should have, but that's okay. Didn't want to switch first. He does bring in his Executor. I'm going to go for a Shadow Ball, expecting him to block this. Now, I think I battled him before, and the Hypno I used, I believe, had Psyshock. I have both Legacy ones, so he probably wasn't expecting Shadow Ball. That's probably why he didn't block. So I don't think that was a bad play. I just don't think he thought I had Shadow Ball. But either way, we do go ahead and knock his Executor out, and we do take that win. So a really nice match. Now we're going to jump into another opponent, beginning with Spiritomb. This time he does begin with Toxicroak. So I don't know. I mean, Counter's doing a good amount of damage. We're basically even right now. We do charge up a little bit faster, you know, getting off that Ominous Wind, and that's going to do a good amount of damage to Toxicroak, so not too big for us. I'm going to go ahead and block this Mud Bomb, and just because I wanted to keep Spiritomb a little bit more healthy just to see all it can do, but unfortunately he does charge up faster. So I would say Mud Bomb and Ominous Wind charge up roughly the same amount of time. But we do go ahead and get one off, and that's going to knock out Toxicroak. Unfortunately, not giving us a buff. You know, at that point, the buff wouldn't have mattered a whole lot, I guess. But we do get another Ominous Wind off. And, yeah, doing not a great amount of damage. We actually do get the buff in that. So I was wrong. We actually do get the buff. But it wasn't at the beginning. If it was at the beginning, it would have been a lot better for us. But we do get knocked out anyway. Bringing in Toxicroak, we are neutral to that Skunk Tank, so we're just going to go to town on it. Getting off a Mud Bomb to boot. So, way to go, Toxicroak. One of the best fighting types in this format, in my opinion. It's 4 times weak to Psychic or Confusion or any of those moves, but that's okay. His final Pokemon, Alolan Eradicate, not too worried about it because we do have that counter and whatnot. So we're just going to beat up on poor old Alolan Eradicate. So good game, good game. We do go ahead and take that game. So nice Spiritomb. Really liking Spiritomb. It's a worthy investment. I feel like a lot of people will be using it this cup. Of course, the meta could change, so people could decide not to use it, but it's going to be interesting. I think it is a good Pokemon. Now for this battle, unfortunately, as I said, we're going to have to pull the switch because we're not going to do a lot to Umbreon. Umbreon is really a tanky Pokemon. He does switch into his Alolan Raichu. I'm going to go ahead and use that Power Up Punch. I believe we have a couple Power Up Punches ready to go. We get the boost, of course. which is always nice. He's going to go ahead and hit us with a Thunder Punch. And yes, we have another Power Up Punch to go ready and waiting. So we do go ahead and use it. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but Alolan Raichu is not a bulky Pokemon, so we're able to knock it out. So Poliwrath is able to take out an electric type because of Alolan Raichu's frailness, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Alolan Raichu is still a fantastic Pokemon and one I'm definitely leaning towards using, but it is really frail as well. So, like in Poliwrath 2, I just wish Poliwrath got countered. Some of you had asked what's better, Mudshot or Bubble, and the answer is definitely going to be Mudshot. I don't have one, I have a Bubble one, so Bubble is a close second. If you don't have Mudshot, it's okay, go with Bubble. It's still really good. I just wish it got counted so it could like beat up those dog types like before getting Power Punch off, right? But unfortunately it doesn't, but that's okay. I really like Poliwrath. Now we're going to bring in Spiritomb. He's hitting us with Foul Play. Not doing a lot of damage. I mean, we'll get off Ominous Wind. As you can see, that's not doing anything to it, or at least not very much. But we do charge up a little bit faster than his Umbreon, so I guess it's okay. We do get the boost there, but again, we're out of shields, and it's towards the end of our Spiritomb, so unfortunately he is able to knock us out before we could really use that buff, but we still win the match with Slowbro coming in. And just because he was very low health, so Spiritomb actually did get him low enough to be able to win. So really good, loving Spiritomb, loving it. This time we're beginning with Poliwrath. He's beginning with Chimecho, another Pokemon that people had wanted me to try out. So I do plan on using Chimecho, but right now I'm loving Shiftry, which we didn't get to yet, I don't think, and Spiritomb. So yeah. Using those right now, but that's okay. He's going to bring in Slowking, and we're going to switch right into our Spiritomb. Definitely have the huge advantage here. Ominous Wind, hoping for that buff. I believe it's a 10% chance to increase the stats. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I believe it's a 10% chance to increase the attack and defense. But yeah, I mean, you shouldn't rely on the buff. I do agree. I do think that you should not rely on it, but it's still a good Pokemon, and Ominous Wind is still a good move, so it's just an extra added bonus if you do get that buff, right? But yeah, using that, we actually do get the buff. Again, we're at low health, but higher than we have been. So I'm going to go ahead and block that Foul Play just because I want to see how much damage it does, how much damage the Shadow Ball would do with the buff. Only 2 rings, keep that in mind. So that's okay. I mean, you know, that's with the buff. Was that another buff? I missed that. No, I don't think... Oh no, we switched out. We still have the buff when we switch back in. That's right. But he brings in his Chimecho. And getting off that side shot, going to go ahead and block that because we don't want to take that damage. Using a Power Up Punch right now on that Chimecho just to try and buff our stats and force the shield. Instead of using an Ice Punch, we wanted to force that shield. So this Power Up Punch I knew would knock out at that range, and we're going to buff the stats again. So Poliwrath, really loving it. The problem with Toxicroak is, well, first of all, it's 4 times weak to Psychic or, you know, Psychic type moves. But not only that, it doesn't have Power Up Punch, and I really like Power Up Punch. Hitmonchan might be better than Poliwrath, though, because it does have that counter, and it also has, like, Fire Punch and Ice Punch, or Power Up Punch as well, so... Anyway, for this match, we're beginning with Alolan Muck. I actually switched my Snarl to Poison Jab. I like Poison Jab more. So, yeah, I think that's better. I had Poison Jab, switched it, and then I switched it back because I like Poison Jab. But anyway, he begins with Sharpedo. That's another Pokemon I want to use. He's using Waterfall on this one. I want to try mine with Bite. I believe he's using Waterfall, unless if that's Bite. That might be Bite. I couldn't even tell. Sorry, guys. But I do want to try out a Sharpedo with Bite, and I do have one. So, that's pretty good. Getting off that Acid Spray, he's going to block that, so definitely good for us, doing more damage with those fast moves. And we're going to bring in Slowbro. Now, funny story is I can't use my Slowbro right now because I accidentally left it in the gym. So, you know, if you see, like, Hypno in battles or whatnot, it's because I can't use Slowbro. And Hypno's still a fantastic Pokemon. In fact, I might actually like it more than Slowbro. But I'm just saying, like, I can't use Hypno right now until it gets knocked out. So, I didn't think of that. Don't leave your Pokemon that you plan on using in the cups or in tournaments in gyms, you know, don't be that guy, right? But anyway, we do go ahead and knock out that Jinx. I also have a Jinx that I want to try out, so we're going to have a lot of fun with this Nightmare Cup. Definitely a lot of different options to go with. And we do take that win. As I said, though, you probably basically have to bring a Fighting type, Dark type, and Psychic type with you every single time. It is a Rock, Paper, Scissors format. I mean, I shouldn't say every time because we do have this Alolan Raichu with only electric moves. But, you know, it is neutral to basically everything. Either neutral or super effective. You know, Shiftry resisted, of course. But, Yeah, anyway, we're going to go ahead and take that power up punch, and yeah, he's going to go ahead and switch into Claydol. So Claydol is a Pokemon that Alolan Raichu cannot stand up against, so switching into Shiftry, definitely going to destroy that Claydol. Shiftry's Razor Leaf is so powerful. We blocked that Psychic. I didn't know what moves Claydol had, so I would say it wasn't the best decision to block it, but I blocked it because I just didn't know what moves it had and whatnot. Using Leaf Tornado could have gotten a decrease on his attack. Didn't happen. I think it's like a 50% chance, but we have a Slowbro in the back, so we're looking pretty at this point. He's going to get off that Mud Bomb, not doing anything to us. And yeah, Toxicroak is just going to fall within like 3 confusion, so absolutely loving it. And now his Hitmonchan. Yeah, if you bring 2 fighting types, you're going to be in trouble if they have a psychic type, which they probably will. So we're going to go ahead and take that game, but it's okay because we practice and we learn. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. See you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.